let's I will do this in a very simple way.
All right, welcome back. All right, Alfred, so you want to kick it up from here? All right, so um, welcome, audience. This is the Jew and Fair Open Mic podcast talk show. This is where we delve into talks. We discuss real life issues that are affecting our younger generation, things that are affecting our communities, and this is where we also share insights and stories. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Chusu, and we have Afre, who is the co-host for this show. We want to introduce our first topic today to the public. We're gonna be delving into a lot of issues relating to our society. But as for a start, we're gonna be discussing the reality of adulthood. Where I'm gonna turn it over to Afre to kind of throw a little bit of light on what this topic is all about. So Afre, you got it, man.
Yeah, so the reality of adulthood or adulting is really a process wherein we barely talk about in our community, in our situations. Um, there are a lot of challenges adults face growing up. They are into stages, so we want to we will be sharing our experience, hopefully to help our listener and audience to kind of grasp what adulting look like and what adulthood look like. So usually adulting is a stages and process of growing up, while adulthood is a state. Like after you have already grown up to an adult, and then those experiences that you go through, such as paying bills or financial situations that you face on a daily basis, and you know everything about being an adult basically. So we're going to be very much talking about a lot of things here today, and hopefully that our listeners and audience out there can learn, and our peers out there can learn from our experiences as well. So um, that's really it is about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I 100% agree with you. You know, adulthood is a state. This is a time where many of us young people we are faced with a whole lot of situations that sometimes, like 75% of the time, we are not ready prepared for, and it's just due to a lot of factors that cause us not to be prepared. And the downside is that um, these things are not really talked about, within our environment, within our communities, and people don't really understand that if you lack certain preparation and then you are faced with that reality for which you are not prepared for, it causes some major issues, down the line. So this is the reason why we have organized this talk show where we can discuss some of the undiscussed, I don't know if that's a good word to use, but some of these things that are not really talked about within our society. And we want to encourage you, our audience, on our viewers, to please tune in every Friday and Saturday, where we're going to be delving into reality talk shows. And Sundays, we're going to be having our biblical show too as well. So, again, there's a lot more to come. So, tune in, stay tuned as we go along within this discussion. Um, there is a big question, Alfred, and I don't know if you you would love to kick it off from here with this question. Why is adulthood so hard?
That's really a
Yeah.
great question. To be honest, why is adulthood so hard? Um, I would like to go from the beginning, which I think um, many people don't understand, and I will start from the creation of man. So I would like to use biblical emphasis to support this point here. Um, Whenever you purchase a product, there is something that come with the product, and that thing is called the manual. So the manual of a thing is ready to tell you how to use the product of that thing. So in the manual, you have two pages. You have the guarantee and a warranty. Now, the guarantee is the manufacturer telling you that his product is going to function. Um, it's his trust in his product that is going to function if you follow everything that is within the manual. So now, there is this is a big thing for us because one, as when you are born as a baby, your culture and your educational system and your environment begin to form your belief system, your philosophy. So um, after we
Right.
were born, yeah. So after we were born, growing up, um, the manufacturer, which is God, form give us the Bible, which is the manual of life. So now parents, how many people do read the manual? You miss it, if you do not read it, and then it begins, you face hard times with that product. So after we were born, our parents really didn't read the manufacturer manual, and which we're going to be dabbing, which I'm going to like make emphasis on the screen today, and so our listener and viewer can understand out there. One good thing, just I figured out and I found out when I was reading the manufacturer manual, which is God, after He created us, um, is really the in the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10, is very important, and it reads that he said, "He knows the way I take when He have tested me. I shall come forth our God." Before any product leaves a manufacturing site, it is always being tested. How do they know that their product is going to be successful? Is because it has been tested. Um, we were growing up, and you know, since our parents begin to form our belief system without reading the manufacturer manual, you know, um, th- they they didn't know why we bring out our success and our failure. So we take up all kind of path of life to make it in life because we didn't actually read the manufacturer manual. So another verse which support that point is Isaiah 46:10. It says that I make know the end from the beginning. So in our God is the only God who show you your future when you were a little kid. I'm sure that when you were small, you saw things. Your parents told you that you were daydreaming. So God
Yeah.
said that in Isaiah 46:10 that make known the end from the beginning. In other translation, it says I made the future known from the beginning. And he says in Isaiah 46:10 that my will for your life, my purpose will stand. And he says I do whatever I pleases. So therefore, whatever path we're doing right now, whatever thing we actually try to pursue right now, we are is a long cut for us. Since we are not reading the manufacturer manual and God said His purpose for our life will stand, whatever we are doing right now, we are not actually fulfilling God's plan for our life because we are not consulting the manual. So then, um, now God is our creator. He have tested us. And Isaiah 4, as this is 10 says that you, oh God, have tested us. So he knows what you can take, he knows what you cannot take. So every difficult path in life for every human being living on this earth, um, who didn't follow God's plan actually will face difficulty because that's how it is meant to be. If you do not follow the manufacturer manual, you cannot assemble his product. You're going to face difficulty even using his product. This is what he said. Why is it important to read to follow the manual is to actually be able to apply the functions on which the product was made. So in Joshua 1, verse 8 to 9, it says that, be careful to do whatever that is written in this book. Why? It says, do not make the book of the law should not depart from your mouth. So you should be careful to do whatever that is written in it. Then you will be able to be successful and prosperous. If we do not read the manufacturer manual, you cannot be successful in this life. So adulthood is difficult because we we our society and our educational system and our parents decide to form our belief system. So whatever you believe is what you actually live by. You know, for example, you cannot judge a man potential on an exam, on a simple exam that he take in a 30 minutes time. He was just having a bad day, and then you judge a potential. So many people, 95% of people living today are actually living based upon exams that they took, let's say 30 years ago, you know. So what do you think about it so far?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree with everything you said. It all start with the belief system, like you said, and it all have some biblical root, as well as some um natural side of it, and which you did make reference to biblically by quoting some of these scriptures that you know have some um underground meaning or stand as it comes to this reality, and that is true. But also, just to add, looking at like the natural side of things, where you mentioned like, the educational system, our parent and our communities have failed, us, the young people, especially young people that are growing up. There are a lot of things that are not taught, and it's all because they too have not learned it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like a thread. It passed on from one end to another end, which are major factors that kind of also affect and tie into what we are talking about. So um it is a serious issue because to be more relatable, you know from my personal experience, there are a lot of things that I have experienced in my life growing up as a young man that I wasn't taught, neither by my parent or even in school. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why you see a lot of time people have this phrase that school is scam, school is scam. It's not just people, it's not just because people want to say that, but it's because there are things that you experience, you know, within a period of time in your life that sometimes you don't have that pre-existing understanding of it. We go to school, we just learn what, these guys who teach us have been taught, in their own way. And these, a lot of times, these things are now more relatable when it comes to, our social experiences or our personal experiences. And then you'd be like, okay, but I'm going through this thing, but I don't, I wasn't expecting it to go this way. Like, why? So I think it's now time that we try to talk about these things so that there can be some adjustment being made. And also parents need to take, a stand. Like, there's a phrase that say an experience is a great teacher. I think something like that, something that goes that way. I think an experience is a great teacher, and that's facts, because there are some things that I have experienced in my life that when my child or my kids be of age, I can be able to tell them that, hey, you know, don't do this, don't go that route. There's certain things you need to do. You need to be observant of yourself, observant of your community, observant of your life, and things like that. And they can pass on that knowledge as well to their own children as time go by. But we never got it from our parents. Now, a lot of people can relate to that. That they just they grew up in a home where they never had that much of an intimacy or personal relationship with their parents. Like it can be your mom or your dad or your guardians or whoever. And then you reach a point in your life where you start to experience some things that you don't even know about. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, let's say for
Yeah.
example, like take the issue of personal development. um they're not, these things a lot of time they're not being taught even in institutions, in schools. So now you grow up only knowing to only knowing that you want to go to school and then join the society and be a 9 to 5. But there are other skills that you can learn, that you can develop yourself professionally to be able to help you out there, instead of just be a 9 to 5 person or being someone that will be chasing a bus around here, and things like that. So, um, yeah, this is a huge question, and I know we did not touch it all, or touch everything about this question, but we will give our audience time, to respond. Just leave us a comment, as you watch this live, or it can be right now or after. We will make sure to read out the comments, um, during our next episode as we come next time. So, but this is a very huge topic here. This is a very huge question that I believe we can take like a whole month talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you have anything to add on to that, Afra?
Um, no, I mean, you would just need to, I'm sure everyone have their personal experience out there. Like you mentioned, personal experience of, very great thing. But one good myth that I'm gonna do, like, try to uh this courage today was is the myth that, experience, but we have been growing up knowing to believe that experience is a great teacher, and which is something that it can be true to based on to a certain extent, but guess what, you can learn the wrong thing, right?
Right.
so,
Hmm.
so but
Of
yeah,
course. Of course.
yeah, definitely. You can be taught the wrong thing. Like we mentioned, the belief system is very important. What is your belief system? Is very important. But yeah, thank you so much, Jesus, for sharing your experience. This is a great thing for our listener out there, for our youth and adults out there, that they can learn from it too as well. So thank you, Jesus.
All right. So, yeah, we're supposed to take a little commercial break and be back, but because of time, we will try to, run through this conversation. Um, but obviously, we will try to take some breaks in between to get our audience time to kind of reflect on the questions that is being asked, and also have a little thought process on it. But again, not today. But hopefully, as we go along, we will definitely create a means of us um having a little commercial breaks and then coming back to the discussion. But then again, Alfred and the audience, so there is another big question also, that tie into this discussion, which I would love to ask, and it is why adulting feels overwhelming. You know, you can have a very tough experience within your adulthood, um, but there are some overwhelming stressful situation that also comes into play. And why is that? What does that happen, Alfred? Do you want to throw some light on that? You want to answer that?
Yeah, obviously, of course, in our psychological phenomenon, in our environment, in our daily lives, we with the stress of bills, for job, we're trying to create balances between life, family pressures, and all of this stuff. It's really overwhelming. To, because one, I think this is the important thing here. Um, we are basically doing what we're not supposed to be doing. One, um, because of one lose focus. See, like we mentioned in the first topic, um, if you were when you was a kid, you told your parents that when I grow up, I want to learn to do this thing, and sometimes you don't have money to send yourself to school back back home. um, and then they say you should learn, you should learn this thing instead. Your first struggle gonna start from in school year first. The classes are gonna be so overwhelming from you for you that you're going to say what because you actually not what you saw. Um, 85% of everyone today who will be watching live understand that when they were 5 years old, not most of the thing they are doing right now, they didn't see this when they were 5 years old. Go back, reflect right now. What did you see when you were 5 years old? You know what you saw. I know what I saw when we were 5 years old. We told our parents. Now, most parents are dream killers. They they will
Yeah.
sabotage it the moment the instant you tell them that, hey, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this person, I want to be an inspirational person to you know they judge that based on your personal conditions or your personal reality that, hey, we cannot even provide food for ourselves, and you're talking about being a person. And shut your mouth. What do you know what I mean? Like, they kill your dream in an instant.
Yeah.
Now you growing up trying to take your own path, and but here's the other part they didn't tell you though. They didn't tell you that at a certain at a certain stage of your life you're gonna have to figure things out on your own. um, if I'm depending on you
Yeah. Yeah.
for my
Absolutely.
decision making, yeah, if I'm depending on you for my decision making skills, and you're just going to leave me halfway as I'm growing up, and you're not going to guide me through, you know, the ups and downs of life. And now I decided to figure out my own. Most people today, most adults today, most kids today are single parent. I grew up a single parent household. Now it's a different thing. We can talk about this all day, but there's another challenge. If you are growing up a single parent's household, who the dad is not in the home, and you just growing up of your mother's the only person in the household, it's going to be difficult because um if the mother is taking care of a boy child, it's a different parenting skill that the mother is really not really built to handle. She might have end up growing up where in her parents only taught her how to handle taking care of a girl child. Now, if you as a boy child, she pretty much don't know like those things, that you are to be taught. So now she's gonna have to figure this out and figure a way that you can grow out. Hopefully, that you can learn important skills. So if you grew up now, you have start figuring things out, and then the reality of paying bills hit the fan, and the reality of family hit the fans. Now you don't even know how to create life balance. You cannot lose focus. You cannot lose hope. And most people of the at the time, end up in jail because they don't have the two parents' household. So, what do you think about that so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I do agreed. It all has to do with expectation versus reality as well, and just you just to a great light on both of them. You know, um, the expectation of life for most people, especially most young people growing up, is very high. We all have that fantasy in mind, like, oh, when I grow up, I want to get this, I want that, I want to, I want to ride this car, or I want to drive this car, I want to own this house, I want to get this amount of money in my bank account, I want to travel, I want to do these things. But spoiler alert, sometimes, bro, those things are their fantasy, man. you know, they don't really happen. And that's just the expectation part of it. But then in reality, when you reach a point or you get to a point in life where you be like, oh shoot, now I have to work to earn money. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably for instance, you was growing up having some level of support, and you was not thinking that, okay, maybe this support will get caught up one day or something like that. And you were just living in your fantasy world. But now it has come to a point now where you are faced with the truth, and you have to handle your own self now. Like, you have to handle your own responsibilities and stuff. Then it become overwhelming. Like, oh my god, now I have to work 9 to 5. Now I have to take care of a family. Now I have to rent my own place. I have to like pay my own. Like, let's say for instance, taking into consideration us in the diaspora, right? Let's say for the US, for Spain. You know, um, when we were back home in Africa, like, some of us was like, man, when I go there, like, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this other thing. I'm gonna live my life like this. I'm gonna live my life like that. But then when you come here, you be like, oh shoot, now I got to join the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 5 people now. Like, I have to start working now to start paying bills. Like, you didn't know about bills back home, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you was not even thinking about that in the very first place. But then you come here now, it's like, oh, I gotta pay bill every month now. I gotta pay phone bill. Like, I gotta pay light bill. I gotta pay rent. Then it become
for
overwhelming
sure.
because now you try
Yeah,
to navigate your way to, like, okay, like, how many jobs do I need to do? Or maybe like, if you're someone I want to go back to school, like, how can I balance my life, my school, and work? How can I do this? Then it becomes very stressful. It becomes very tense. You cannot get your hair straight on something. You cannot plan properly. You cannot adjust yourself. It's a lot just happen in between that time of your life, and you are just faced with a whole lot of situation now that you didn't expect, because you had a
yep,
whole different mindset, a whole different perspective. But now life has hit you hard with a whole different thing that you wasn't prepared for. So, reality versus expectation um play a key factor. And I think and it also has to just do it like you said, not fully being taught about some things, because if you already taught about how life works and how it is to really, navigate through this era, bro, you're gonna like pretty much try to adjust yourself. But a lot of young people just jump into it. Like, a lot of us, for instance, I'm a typical example, man. A lot of us jump into a whole lot of things that we are not prepared for, and then it create that overwhelming situation, that stressful feelings, that you feel like the whole world is trying to crumble on you. That, like, am I the only one that's going through all of this? Like, what I'm saying? Then you start asking yourself so
yeah,
many questions now that you never thought that you could have even asked yourself them. You know what I'm saying? So, um, that's some of the things that I feel, that really tie into, the situation of our adulthood. where things feels overwhelming, things feels very stressful. Having that pole plan mentality, that fantasy mindset, and then being faced with the actual reality of what life can bring to you, man. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, certainly. I do actually agree with a lot of this thing. One of the highest thing, the difficult thing to about life and very hard is to trying to figure life out by yourself. Um, it's it's difficult to everyone, and mostly people who grew up in a single household. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Both
Yep.
persons, male or female. You know, if you are growing up in a single household that you try to figure things out by yourself, um, it's very difficult. You need guidance. We're going to be sharing a lot of the tips here today, but it's very important. But yeah, what's your last take so we can like make close this segment?
Um, I mean, again, we may not provide all the answers to these questions again, but all we encourage the audience to also send in their comments too as well. You know, based on these questions that we are trying to address today. Um, but life is life, man. Life is what I sometimes say it is what it is. I've been saying sometimes like when I'm hit with certain situation, I'll be like, what? It is what it is, man. Like life goes on, and that's just one thing. One scripture in the Bible, it said, "In every good thing we should give thanks." Whether good or bad
Yeah,
times, just give thanks. And sometimes, God brings some things in your way that He know you have certain potential to handle, but because of we human due to our own leniency, our own weaknesses, we are sometimes you know, uh, crushed by this situation. I would say crush because a lot of time, yes. Um, I think there's a scripture that said God will not give you anything again. I don't know if that scripture already exists, but that's just true, man. Sometimes God allows certain things to happen. Sometimes we young people we are faced with certain things in our adult life, in our adulthood that we have the potential to get our way around or to fix, but because we are not adequately prepared in our mind because it all happens from upstairs, man. It all happens from up here. If here is not fully equipped and prepared, bro, everything gonna crush on you. Like you're just gonna be, and that's where the stressful situation and overwhelming situation kind of play in because if your mind is not fully prepared and you're not prepared mentally, then anything that you face in life, anything that you're faced with in life, that probably is just something that you could get your way around or that you could handle, but because of the weaknesses up here, it will destroy you that situation. So, you know, um, read the manual of life, man. God's manual is there for every one of us. I think is is the only book in the world that tells you everything about what you need to know about life. It teaches you a lot too as well. Um, but yeah, so let's discuss some tips, man. Let's discuss some
yeah,
tips. So, uh,
yeah.
you
I
want to start it
think
or you want me to go first?
yeah, you go first, man. Like what are we're gonna be sharing today, guys? Some tips that will help adults, not just adults, youths that are growing up. Um, and these tips are fact proof, and it's some of them are our experiences, and we want other to hear from and other to benefit from, and also to share in the comment section so that people, viewers, and listeners can learn from it, um, to make other decisions and to make not so many difficult uh, mistakes, or to ease life for themselves. I know life is not easy, but it's really expensive pain learning from other people. from your own experience than other people's experiences. So that's why we're going to be sharing our experiences here. Some tips that will help people out there, and some tips that we have learned from as well. So you can share some tips here, and you will give some tips, and I will give some tips to close out this segment, and then we will go to the next one. So would you want mind sharing like some tips you think that um some tips that you can give for making adulthood easy?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Um, so some tips that I feel that I've picked up along the way, growing up, as a young person, um, you know, one, starting small. Okay. Even though we all have this big mindset of doing things the bigger way, we all have this huge mindset of, okay, I want to do this, do that, do this, and do that, and get this going, and all of this stuff. Um, but sometimes it's good to start small, and you just have to do with the small little detailed thing that you think you can lay your hand on. Um, it can be just from setting up a budget, and that's one thing. I think we will have an episode in time to come where we'll be discussing budgeting. Again, we are not financial expert, but we're just going to discuss like some of the ways that we as young people, we can kind of set ourselves aside, try to prepare ourselves for our life, our adulthood life, um, of our parental life, and how to like go about starting some little small savings and things like that. So we're not financial experts, so we're just going to be discussing some real life topic on that. But again, like I said, it can be as simple as budgeting, you know, um, how to budget, how to understand your finances and stuff like that. Um, how to spend your money. It's important because sometimes we are young people. We want to live. There's nothing wrong again, with us living lavishly. There's nothing wrong with you trying to enjoy your life in your prime, um, or in your youth age. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it's good that you take a step back and reflect. You know what I mean? So starting small detailed thing, like maybe it could be like professional development programs. How to develop yourself professionally to get yourself prepared for the real world. Um, it could be something as small as even um personal development too as well. Like, eating healthy, um, gymming and things like that. So all of these small details, it don't have to be something bigger, but it can be from something very small. So it's important. Starting small is one key thing that I feel that later down the line have helped me a lot because I was someone, or I'm someone that when I was growing up, and I mean I'm still growing up obviously, um I had a huge expectation. Like I want to jump into everything. Like I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get here, get that. But as time go by, as I learn, I'm like, okay, I think it is better that I take a step back and try to prioritize these little small detail important things that will kind of set me up for success tomorrow. And with that, over time, it has helped me greatly in, you know, I mean, I'm not 100% yet, but it's a gradual process. So that's one key tip. Also, a big one is asking for help. Um, there's nothing wrong with asking for help, man. Like, I am one person that I ask questions. I love asking questions for some reason. Yeah. Um, because nobody knows everything. Nobody, a single, I would say nobody knows everything. Like, I don't know everything, neither anybody else, but I know something that somebody else has don't know, and they know something that I don't know either. So, it's good for us. And that's one major factor that I think in our current generation now, a lot of young people don't ask. They just jump into things, they just do things as they feel. you know that, oh yeah. But sometimes it's good you ask questions, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, it could be something little as even how to prepare a meal. You may not even know how to prepare a proper meal, you know what I mean? And by you asking, sometimes make Google your friend. you know,
Yeah.
we are living in a digital age now. Make Google your friend. You know, you can learn some real life tips from the internet. You know, um, so it's good. Like, we need to ask questions and stuff like that. I think these will kind of help us set us up for success, and it will kind of equip us also as well because they say once who think that he knows knows nothing. Something that goes that way. Man, I gotta work on all my little stuff. But yeah, you don't know everything, man. So you feel that you know it all. No, you don't. So it's good to ask questions as much as you can. Reach out. It be from Google. It can be from your peers, your family and people in your surrounding, and just anything relating to real to life that you think. And just lastly, man, you know, celebrate every little things. It's good because life will go on regardless of what happens. The time will not stop because because it feel that, oh, okay, you little bit behind, so it want to stop for you to catch up. No, it will not. So, you know celebrate every little success you have. um every little things that you are doing, celebrate yourself. Even when it comes to just um being punctual, being able to manage your time properly and stuff like that. Celebrate it. Sometimes take a step out on a treat. Go out, go sit somewhere quiet, have some good time. Read a word, and then pray and have a good time about with yourself. Sometimes travel. You know what I'm saying? Like just celebrate your every little wins. Just celebrate it. Every little things that you experience, every little things, every little detail thing. It can be as small as even having a consistency in waking up early, because not a lot of people can do it. Not a lot of people can do it. So, life is a journey, obviously. So every little thing that you do in life that is worth being celebrated. That's how I would put it. So, that's just some little tips for me. Again, um, there are a lot of people out there that know a lot more. But and reach out to them too as well.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
what you
I'll
mentioned.
stop there, man. And what do you think?
What you mentioned was very great. Especially out of these points. Like you said, start small. Um, we came from a third world country, and I use this term very carefully here. Wherein I mean a country of very less opportunity and privilege. Um, Wherein we came straight to a country of opportunity, wherein we want to get everything. We want to like brand what we want to brand ourselves out, working to earn everything in the small possible time. Um, Everything. The moment you hear about the money and everyone is chasing the money and want to like work more hours as possible to get everything done, um, and to save a lot of money, trying to have very huge expectations of life. Starting small, is very important. That understand that it's a process, it's a stages, it's a journey. Um, and celebrate journeys and wins is very important, like you mentioned. um you don't have to you know get a big house or a very luxury items to celebrate it. You can just start in a very it could be a very small thing that you feel within, you feel happy from within, like your birthdays, celebrating friends, celebrating promotions at your job place, you know and understand that it's life is not a destination. You will never reach that destination. It's a journey, gradual journey. So every journey is important. Every single journey is important because as you age, as you grow, when you are like 60 years old or 50 years old or not, you're going to refer to this stage of your life. You're going to refer to this journey. And it's important because, one, especially when it comes to the biblical text, you know, God will show you your beginning. God will show you your end in the beginning, but He will never show you how to get there. Between your end and your beginning is called the journey or the plan. If God had told you your journey or the plan, you would tell God, say, forget about the destination. I don't want to go there. If God who have told show you Jusu that um from your beginning when you were a young child, maybe when you're 15 years old, that these are the processes or the plan that you're going to pass through to get to your destination, you tell God, say, hell, you tell God, say, no, I don't want to go there. Forget it. A very reference text is,
For sure.
Joseph. God showed Joseph his God showed Joseph his end in the beginning. God said, I am the only God who will show you your end from the beginning. See, in other words, God starts your life, and he has already been there and then he started. So he will never show you how you're going to get there. And which lead to my other point that I was about to make here to encourage our brothers out there that you are not a mistake, that you are an assignment. Um, whether your parents make mistake, to put you on earth here, you were put on earth for a purpose. So God showed you your purpose when you were a little child, and now the plan is is the process. So whether you were born as a child with our parents or a child with a single parent, um, what is important to understand is that there's a purpose for your life. So, you know, you are not a mistake. Nobody should say
Yeah.
that, oh, we just born you by mistake. You were put on earth for and to accomplish God's creations. Everything on earth here was put on earth for a purpose. The sun was put on for a purpose. The mosquito on earth for a purpose. Um, you know, so yeah, I think. And another tip that you shared, though, that I also want to asking for help was very important. That you said it. Asking for help is important. The worst people can say is no. You know,
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
experience, I grew up and I didn't, learn to ask for help. It's one of the reason why people, adulthood can be difficult because the fear of saying of someone saying no to you. So then,
Yeah.
used to
Ask.
asking for help,
Yep.
and it can be very challenging. Be it from school, be it from anywhere. Asking for help is a very good tool that you can use and a tip that you can use to your advantage. And my last point on this, though, I would like to share is reading God's manual, the Bible. You will be out of alignment if you do not read God's manual. You can be doubtful if you do not read God's manual. Many times, your parents could be wrong, telling you that this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, and then now you got to like figure things out. They don't even know like how you should start, and they don't even know God's plan. Sometimes they come to a conclusion because you thought you're not going by what they say or what they want you to do. um and if you do not read the Bible, which is a very important tool, I figure out later on, you know growing up as for this stage, um that the Bible full of mysteries. Like you mentioned, like the text you were reading earlier on, that your life, God will test you on stages of life. in a religious environment, we were not taught many things. That whatever you ask God for, God is never going to bless you based on your prayer request. He's going to bless you based on what you can handle. So I think everyone, as a child or growing up, or every parents listening, should go to raise their kids based upon God's plan. Never doubt the human capacity. When your child come home with an exam of maybe 60 mark, don't say, "Oh, you are dull," or or you're not capable of carrying the function called life. You can't judge a man potential based on, no, seriously, you can't judge a man potential based on a 30-minute exam. He was just having a bad day. He just scored 50 mark, and you're gonna tell him that, "Oh yeah, you're so dull," or "You can't do this." You are not his creator. The manufacturer who knows him say that, test him and say, "I know what you can take and I know what you can't take." See, the scriptures say that there is no temptation that overcome me that is not common unto all men. But God is faithful. He will never let you get tested beyond what you cannot handle. But in all temptation, He will give you the capacity to, so that you can bear it, not to run away from it, because He has tested you and He knows what you can take. So everyone listening should always follow God's plan.
That's awesome, man. That was awesome. I think you did stress give a lot of tip that really resonate with our real world, and we would love to hear from our audience too as well. Again, please feel free to leave your comments on on what we are talking about today. Please share your thoughts. Um, but before we go, we will want to like give I don't want to say a party statement, but maybe just our conclusion on this topic. And also we would love to know what your biggest your biggest adulting win or fail. Please leave that in the comment section, and we're gonna read that off. But just to answer this, and maybe there will be the question that will conclude, this this session of our broadcast today. Um, I think for me, my biggest win. Wow, this is huge, but I'll try to narrow it down. I think my biggest win as an adult is being able to handle responsibility. Cause man, handling responsibility is huge, bro. And that's just has to do with because we from Africa, especially you know us that based in diaspora, we have families back home, that we have to take care of, and your personal life as well, and all of these things. Being able to navigate into this society, um, you know, that we are in currently, and with with every other factor, every other factors, man. Um, Being able to handle responsibilities is a huge win for me. I've interacted with a lot of young people who just complain, man. Like, bro, I can't do this, man. Like, it's a lot to deal with, man. Like, it's this, it's that, and I'm like, I'm grateful for me, and I'm grateful to God that He have given me that potential to be able to prioritize what is important to me, and to be able to, you know, handle my responsibilities as a person. For a fail, um, I would say, I think my biggest other fail was not ready. Um, from the beginning, I was not fully prepared. not fully equipped mentally. And it really, and just like some of the things that we shared today, having that overwhelming situation, that stressful situation, and it just had to do with poor preparation. Um, that was my biggest fail. But as time went by, I was able to like get over things and get myself back together and things like that. So, but we also love to hear from you guys too in the comment section as well. But let's hear from what Alfred has to say about this.
Yeah, man, you know, life is full of ups and downs. Um, so you know, sometimes you can fail, but please remember that you are not a failure. There is difference. Um, you can fail at doing something. That doesn't mean you are a failure. Failure is like desiring not to do things or giving up totally on something. So long that you are still
Right.
breathing, so long you are still breathing and you wake up every day, that's a sign that God is not done with you yet. Um, the having the for me personally, ah, failure. I would say, um, man, there have been like a couple of attacks. Obviously, I attempting to do something, having the encouragement to do it. It could having that motivation to do it has sometimes it can be out of track, and I sometimes cannot have the motivation to complete it and get it done. So it can be termed as yes, I did feel on that, and most of the time, not having the right people around, or let's say the not wanting to ask for help. Um, you know, I give up on certain things, and I term like, hey, I feel like that, but I wouldn't call it a fail completely, but it's just like not having the motivation to get it done. And most people are listening do
Right.
not have the motivation or the discipline, I would say, um, to get certain things done. So therefore, can I accomplish it or get a result from that thing? So, but we'd like to also listen to or get our audience comments, what they think about this topic, sharing your experience and how it
Yeah,
relate
that's
to
that's true.
you, and we as we go, and we will read them, and also relate to what you share as well. So yeah, would you like to give last take on this, and on some personal thing that you're working on, so that um for our viewers?
Yeah. I mean, I think all I can say lastly is just like we have always been saying, you're not a failure, no matter what you go through in life. Always celebrate your little wins. Life is full of ups and downs. Embrace it because it's part of life. Everyone have to go through that. You have to go through that stage of life regardless. Then it seems so. We might not have that uh grassroots preparation or we might not we might not have had sufficient knowledge, you know, as to relate to some of these things that we face in life or what life is actually about. But again, regardless of that, whatever you have faced is something that you can go through. It's something that you have the potential for. So always, develop your mind, equip your mind, um, to accept whatever it is, and it is part of life. Um, Always be prayerful. Read your Bible. If you're not a religious person, that's okay. Um, but you can try at least to, read the word. Whenever it's necessary for you to be prayerful. Believe in God. You know, um, and have faith that whatever life brings, um, is to equip you. And you know, ask questions. As much as you can. Make the internet your friend. Google, you know, is and now we have AI. It's interesting, man. We have a lot of things nowadays to our advantage. That we can use. I mean, for me, I use everything, man. I ask as much question as I want. Once I don't have a clarity on something, I ask about it. Just so that I can know it. So, um, again, I'm excited about this. About this opportunity that we have established, where we're gonna be discussing some of these real life situational, things. Um, we hope someday to have some guests on the show that you know, we can all sit and discuss some of these questions and some of these real life situational topic, just so that our audience can benefit a lot from it too as well. Again, if you have any questions that you think is necessary, anything that you guys think that is important for us to talk about, feel free to reach out to us on our social media platforms, and we will be glad to share these things on the talk show so we can have a fruitful discussion. So yeah, that does it from my end, Alfred.
Yeah. Just stay tuned tomorrow for another segment. It's going to be very important, and based on this, Tristan and myself will be um, strategize on together like writing some books. Um, and hopefully it will be out. We will program that to share. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's people need to understand out there that a lot of resources are available. It's just that like people were not told or taught a lot of things. I think those self help will be able to benefit the audience out there, our friends and uh, and youth out there. So
Yeah, great, great. Um, Again, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're gonna have this recording posted on our YouTube channel today, before the end of the day. Also on our Facebook and our Instagram. We are also on TikTok as well. So, um, all of those, how we call it, the link on Facebook name will be shared
yeah.
sooner for those of you that might have some questions. We will have some flyers out there too as well with those information or details on them. So feel free to like, follow us, share, subscribe to our channel. We would really love to see you guys following or tagging along as we delve into these realities talk. If you ever one way want to be featured on our show, please reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to us. We will be glad to invite you guys or bring you guys on the show to discuss. Again, this is an open forum. Okay, this is open mic, and we want to make sure that we we make it more relatable. and more also more educational too as well, so that the broader audience out there can benefit from the show. So there's a lot to come your way, so please feel free to have on every Friday and Saturday 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're gonna be here Friday, Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern time live on the show, and Sunday at 8 a.m. also to 10 or 10:30. We're gonna have our religious guests on the show where we're gonna be discussing some controversial biblical topics. I know I'm excited about this because there's a lot, religiously that um you know the Christian community is coming coming true that we are all the
Yep.
religious community. I don't want to make it more specific to Christian, but the religious community out there, we have a lot of questions that we would love to ask, and we're gonna be inviting a lot of guests on our Sunday show. So please tune in. Every Sunday morning 8 a.m. and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be loving. A lot of questions are gonna be answered. A lot of questions that's gonna be asked. If you also have some biblical questions that you would love to, um, have us ask our guests, please reach out to us. Send it to our DM, um, on our platforms, and we will make sure to ask these questions as well. So, thank you guys for tuning
Absolutely.
into today's episode. It was a great time being here. Um, it was a great time being here with Alfred and going through some of these questions and answers. So if you guys have anything to add on to that, please comment that into the comment sections on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever you're gonna see us at. So thank you guys so much for today.